Shri Sai Satcharita, Chapter 7, Part 2. Baba's Yogic Practices. Baba knew all the processes and practices of yoga. Two of them will be described here. First, Dhoti Kriya or cleansing process. Every third day, Baba went to the well near Banyan tree at a considerable distance from the masjid, washed his mouth, and had a bath. On one occasion, he was seen throwing up his intestines, cleaned them inside out, and placed them on a jam tree for drying. There are people in Shirdi who have actually seen this and who have testified to this fact. Ordinary dhoti is done by a moistened piece of linen 3 inches broad, 22 and a half feet long. This piece is gulped down the throat and allowed to remain in the stomach for about half an hour for being reacted there and then taken out. But Baba's dhoti was quite unique and extraordinary. Second, Khanda Yoga. In this practice, Baba extracted the limbs from his body and left them separately at different places in the masjid. Once a gentleman went to the masjid and saw the limbs of Baba lying in separate places. He was terrified. He first thought of running to the village officers and informing them of Baba being hacked to pieces and murdered. He thought that perhaps he would be held responsible as he was the first informant and knew something of the affair. So he kept silent. But next day, when he went to the masjid, he was very much surprised to see Baba, hale and hearty as before. He thought that what he had seen the previous day was only a dream. Baba practiced yoga since infancy and nobody knew or guessed the proficiency he had attained in it. He charged no fees for his cures, became renowned and famous by virtue of his merits, gave health to many a poor and suffering person. This famous doctor of doctors cared not for his interest but always worked for the good and welfare of others, himself suffering unbearable and terrible pain many a time in the process. One such instance I will relate now, which will show the all pervasive and the most merciful character of Sai Baba. Baba's all pervasiveness and mercy. In the year 1910, Baba was sitting near the dhuni on Diwali and warming himself. He was putting firewood into the dhuni, which was burning brightly. A little later, instead of pushing logs of wood, Baba pushed his arm into the dhuni. His arm was corked and burnt. This was noticed by the errant boy Madhav and also Madhav Rao Deshpande Shama. They at once ran to Baba and Madhavrao clasped Baba by his waist from behind and dragged him forcibly backward and asked Deva, "Why you done this?" Then Baba came to his senses and replied, "The wife of a blacksmith at some distant place was working the bellows of a furnace. Her husband called her. Forgetting that her child was on her lap, she got up hastily and the child slipped into the furnace. I immediately thrust my hand into the furnace and saved the child. I do not mind my arm being burned, but I am glad that the life of the child is saved." Shri Sai Satcharita,